Okay.
Okay. All right, there we are again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the slight technical hiccup. A little bit of a DC, but we should be fine now, as both teams are heading on to the Rift once more. 5-stack. Of course, you want to invade with the Blitzcrank, but it's going to be 2 5-stacks running past each other on the different sides of the map here on this match point game, VIS eSports. This time on the blue side, looking to pull this one out for themselves and secure the place in the grand finals.
Yeah, a bit of a sort of predicting from the past there from the side of Blue Sky. VIS did 5-man stack and go try and gank Jenkins in the top lane, and I think it was both the first and second games that they may have tried it. But yeah, not going to find anyone this time. Just some wards going down into the blue side of Blue Skies. There is a nice little ward on the blue buff there.
Yep.
That will not be spotted out.
It's going to give a lot of information just due to the fact that they know Olaf is going to start top side, so he's going to path bottom first one around. And
it's that same cheese in bot lane.
Oh. Yep.
That we saw in game 2, but yeah, there you go. This time 600 APM is not going to get 100 to 0 before the wave arrives. So
lucky for him.
Yeah, very lucky for him. Learning from their mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. But this is going to mean that both junglers are going to path bottom side. So, I mean, we're not expecting really that the Karthus is going to do anything other than hard farm, try to get to level 6 as fast as possible because he wants the gold. But that Olaf definitely might look for an early gank.
He could do, yeah. I'm expecting him to attempt it because, you know, generally you don't want to just power farm when there's a Karthus also doing the same thing. Because Karthus is going to outscale you. Not really anything you can do about that. Although,
I mean, you can kill him.
You can kill him if you find him, yeah, but maybe you won't find him if he's too speedy for you on the camps. But for Killer, actually, as well, another thing might be that he wants to power farm not in order to try and keep up or stay ahead of the Karthus, but in order to prevent, you know, coin flipping the game around this mid lane.
In the mid lane, there's the Blitzcrank, and I mentioned it. The Kayle is gonna be sitting duck. Hook lands a lot of damage coming in, but he's in the middle.
Hasn't needed to flash yet.
Shady looking for the place. Flash comes out, and that is the big summoner down.
Ooh.
Not a good start for Villains here in the mid.
Well, Villains, he started off by playing that really well, recognizing that he didn't actually have to use the flash straight away, and just a little bit unfortunate that he got probably too caught up in the motions, expecting Shady to try and use the abduct under tower and flashing it preemptively. So did end up losing the cooldown anyway, but I like the moves from Villains there. It was very calculated up until that small mistake at the end.
Yeah. I mean, he did a good job avoiding dying there, so there's that. But still, Smiley with the early ganks coming in just as expected, really. That Blitzcrank showing up in the mid lane and really hitting Blue Sky Eagles where it hurts. Now Killer, though, in the mid lane, looking to turn this one around, but Shady has a lot of damage, and that Kayle is very low. Undertow is going to connect that Olaf. Very dangerous here. Shady taking low. The Karthus comes in for the first blood, and even the Lika roaming towards the mid side is not going to be able to prevent any of that. Jenkins in the top side getting chunked out as well. Across the board, not looking too hard right now in the early game here for Blue Sky Eagles.
Yeah, and this is the sort of thing that I was talking about, that maybe they would want to avoid going for. The early gank onto mid lane from Killer there would have been a good punish if it was any other champion, but not with a Kayle by his side, especially when there's 1 HP.
That's a lot of damage on the Olaf, though. Ignite is gonna land. Triumph is gonna heal him back up. He's gonna get out just by the skin of his teeth, and that's a quick pickup on Smiley, and they might even get the dragon out of this because Killer, you can just lifesteal back up, gets the smite in there, easy going.
I missed the memo that we were just continuing game 2. I was expecting things to slow down a bit.
No brakes on this bus.
Yeah, we just keep going. Alright, well, so far though, 2 kills for Decade is pretty nice. He has a 600 gold lead already with these 2 kills on the Karthus. Gonna just help him power farm these camps that little bit faster, get towards that first item power spike before anyone else can, and maybe that first Karthusar is going to be the one that changes the game. As top lane, some heavy trading going down.
Yeah, Jenkins definitely good underway with a doubled Ruby Crystal, and Bobbin gets chunked out heavily. But look at mid lane. That's a 2v2 mid lane. Can't call it anything else at the moment.
Pretty much, yeah. And just seeing Jenkins repeat the same thing over and over in top lane. Walk into the bush, channel the W. Basically, there's no way to get out of a Tomkinch W if he's channeling where you can't see him.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's
the next attempt. Jenkins trying to connect. The tongue lash does land on Bob, and at this point, you really have to consider just backing out of lane, otherwise that Tomkinch might just dive you, because he has the tough skin, he has the big shield, so it's really, really dangerous.
Yeah, something that I did forget to just generally, because it's been so long since the matchup has been around, but yeah, also because we were too busy talking about Kale, is that
Bobbin is gonna get ignited, gets the knock up on the ult, but Jenkins just clean walks in, gets the damage, dubstep ignites him and walks back out.
He's only got 2 Ruby Crystals as well. There is no bonus damage on Tomkinch. He didn't even have a corrupting charge for that one, and now he's gonna come back with a Cinder and a Cloth Armor, and I'm willing to say that, or willing to predict, that might not be the last time that Bobbin gets tower dived by Jenkins this game.
Probably not.
A lot of confidence coming out from him, but
yeah, it's interesting to see, because Bobbin started the series off so well, and now game 3 and game 4 have been absolutely devastating for him. Shady stealing the ulti, getting some good value out of that. Vigilance gonna ult the Requiem. Shady going back in, gets the kill. Beautiful roam from the VIS bot lane. They're gonna pick up a 3B in the mid lane. What's Minor walking into a death trap here? That's a level 6 Olaf reckless swing. Takes down Smiley, but it is the Dalika that grabs the kill. Definitely not the character you wanted the 300 gold.
Yeah. Bit unfortunate there, but still a good pick overall.
Yep.
Stopped them from being able to shove in the wave exactly how they wanted in mid lane, which is a nice little condolence prize for Villains there. I will say he has been playing the matchup extremely well. 31 CS leads over.
I'm impressed, actually. Yeah.
Shady so far. Kale is sometimes able to bully out the melee matchups. Obviously, is somewhat negated in this game by Blitzcrank. Basically, been sat right there in a tent the whole game, as you've been saying. But yeah, one of the things to mention that I was trying to mention earlier, but then we had all of these awesome fights, is that Kai'Sa did used to be the traditional counter pick into Ezreal back in the good old days of Death's Dance meta, because she was one of the few champions that could always close the gap on him in the lane in 1v1s, and pretty much always out-damage him as well. Once she had followed up, she was. It was basically she was able to sort of bypass the poke phase that Ezreal usually has against other matchups, and that has sort of played a part here with. That's an ultimate in top lane.
Yep. Gonna get devoured. He's gonna get this spin out to get out of that thing.
Okay. That's
Still, it continues to be a rough lane, to call it that, on a very, very friendly basis here for Bobo Bob. And Jenkins is actually looking for a little bit of a dive attempt here. That Wukong, 2 stacks,
he ignited the clone.
Yep, that's a big ignite.
Okay, so Bobbin does get a little something out of it, but still really hard for him to play under this tower.
Yep. Got a fight in the mid lane. Smiley not quite connecting the hook, but look at the damage that Cade is gonna be able to put out. That Karthus coming up huge here, level 8 already, has been farming like a madman. That's a lot of flashes traded here.
Flashing straight back out after finding the
CTC! Oh. Leona with the fast boots, the solar flare comes in, the Kaiser can kite a little bit longer, but Villains is the one picking up the kill, and immediately VIS needs to pull back and run away. It's a disaster for the leading team here at the moment in this series.
Yeah, it's really not gone well for them, and that kill being picked up onto Villains there, that is huge for him, because he is now even on gold with Shady again. For the first time in the game since, well, getting killed for the first time. But, yeah, that's really huge for him. Obviously, he already has this huge CS lead, so if he's able to sort of maintain his dominance over this lane as he has so far, then things are looking up for him.
What's even more important is that we're 11 minutes in and already 2 Drakes picked up for the Blue Sky Eagles. And that's going to be a 21-minute Dragon Soul. It's going to be Cloud Soul 4 games in a row. Bobbin, though, looking for a fight, or at least to escape from one. Stack's gonna expire. That time Kench fairly low, still has the thick skin though for that big shield. Teleport from Shady towards the top side. He's gonna look for a fight there, but he's fairly low, and Jenkins already backed out enough to not get dove. And for now, Bobbin gets out with a blue eye, basically.
Was that a teleport from base, or was that a teleport from lane?
No, that was from lane, I think.
That has to have been from lane, right? But I feel like he just spent... No, he still has 1,600 gold, never mind. Yeah, no, that was a bailout TP for Bobbin up there, who was in danger, again, of getting licked. So well played from the side of VIS to...
I mean, it was an attempt, right? You had the Tahm Kench fairly low. You could have transitioned that into a dive, as they are trying here in the mid lane. Follow-up stun, sits, overlaps a little bit, but the Blitzcrank silence might be enough to take out Villains. There's the Tahm Kench roaming down. Jenkins has the moves and the timing. It's a double kill for the Blue Sky Eagles. And once again, 2 games in a row, they have the number of VIS eSports in the early game.
Zenith Blade just didn't connect there. They would have done with that, I think. But yeah, Jenkins with an excellent roam to the mid lane, counter ganking the gank.
Yep.
Counter ganking the double gank from Cade and Smiley. Getting another 2 very important assists into the pocket of Villains. The Kayle is being given time to scale here, which is nice news for the side of Blue Skies, although perhaps there's something going down in bot lane at the moment. Blitz Hook.
Yeah, Blitz Hook nicely, cancels. Arcane shifted, but there's the dive. Shady not quite paying attention. Steals the Kayle, and one on the Lika as well, but the Leona is going to drop fairly fast. Cade joining in. That Kalthus has a lot of damage, but he is going to lose his life, and Jenkins just pours out. It's 2 for 1 in the mid lane here. Smiley, luckily for him, doesn't connect the hook. Bobbin trying to get in on the action here on the Wukong. That would have been a big ultimate if he could have landed that, but sadly doesn't quite get the jump, so they have to back out without gaining anything back.
Wow, that was really good from the side of Blue Skies. That was clean as heck, and Nash's Tooth now completed for Valence. He's going to be much more comfortable in this lane. Gore Drinker completed for Killer. Olaf, champion that's pretty well known for what he can do with a Gore Drinker in the middle of a team fight. So they're sitting quite comfortably on this now 2k gold lead on the side of Blue Skies.
Absolutely. I mean, on the other side, you have the Karthus farming up more and more. Decade already on 212, 114 CS, really, really sitting comfortable on. How much is this? Almost 6k gold now.
But Olaf is
going to be huge
ahead of him
in the upcoming team fight. Yeah, true. But it's
just
still a little bit of
kills.
a relief point here for VIS. I mean, they need anything they can get this game, honestly.
They need to sort of relieve the pressure and chill out a little bit. Kai'Sa does also scale pretty well. Obviously, it's very hard for her to completely burst any of the tankier champions here, but there is every chance, if she has time to auto-attack in these team fights, that she can actually be the one that does burn through the Tahm Kench, the Olaf, the Leona, although she's getting caught out.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again the same game, right? CTC is the carry that VIS is looking towards to carry them. Jenkins actually gets hooked in, and we talked about this. That's a Tahm Kench. You really don't want to have this guy in your own lines, and immediately Decade is gonna pay with his life for that, and the mid lane villains is all out of mercy for Shady. That's a 1v1 kill picked up, even though the Karthus ult was coming in. And I think we are at the point. Kale, level 11, solo killing the Silas in the mid lane. This game is over, man. This game is over.
That's demoralizing right there for VIS. Seeing a Kale kill you at only 16 minutes into the game. Yikes. But yeah, you know, like you were saying, this Blitzcrank pick, or like we were saying in draft even, the Blitzcrank pick is maybe a little bit questionable, you know. Generally, it's a good idea to hit hooks, and Bobbin there looks like he might be struggling for his life.
Yep, gets devoured. This is third stack. Villains in the wings as well. That Kale would be very happy about. Another kill. Jenkins predicts the flash. Gets the knock-up right away. Yeah.
How do you get away from a fed Tahm Kench? You just can't. There's nothing you can do.
Very simple. You just
don't. My goodness. Yeah. That's
but bringing it back to the Blitzcrank point, you're exactly
the
correct,
Blitzcrank
right?
point. You know, pull a Tahm Kench into your team.
Pickup. It's such a weird pickup.
Yeah, as a counter pick to, it was just Tahm Kench Olaf on the board when it was picked, and you know, it doesn't make sense into either of those picks, and the way that the rest of the draft has worked out. But that's okay.
Dalika looking for a fight. I mean, he has been fancy footworking his way through that jungle with the Karthus Q. I don't think he got hit by a single one, but still a very interesting Hex Flash over the wall there.
Was that a Hex Flash? I thought that was the actual Flash.
I have no idea, quite honestly. Might have been the actual flash.
Maybe
that's just a flash. Smiley lands the hook, gets the Ezreal, but they can't turn this one around because Dalika is already in the backline, and there comes Killer. It's the Olaf looking for the swings. He gets one. He follows up. It's Ragnarok in this house, and Cade gonna fall victim. Two villains once more. It's a double kill for the Kale. 304 on that Olaf. 4 kills on the Kale. And this is not looking good for VIS eSports.
No, absolutely not. They kind of have to think about the Game 5 draft already. And that is Jenkins just chasing down CTC under the tower. Yep. I think he might even get this. He will.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No issues whatsoever on that one.
Doesn't even get Blitzhook back into it, and he's probably just going to be able to W out. Yeah, there's no way Blitz can.
They unbenched the Kench, and they are very happy with what they are getting from him. So, yeah, what do you do from here? Quite honestly,
there's not much you can
get Bobo Bobbin back on something that he can make plays with. The Wukong theory isn't working out. Last game also didn't go too hot with that Renekton. Just not able to get through that early game.
Yeah, it's the fact as well that in both games 4 and 5, they've given Bobbin had the opportunity to counterpick sorry, 3 and 4, sorry. Bobbin had the opportunity to counterpick Jenkins, and in both games, he's not had a great time.
Yep.
It was I can't even remember what it was last game. It was so recent.
Oh,
what it was?
Maybe it's gonna hit you in the face like the Blitzcrank hook is hitting Dalika in just a moment, but it's Jenkins in the backline already connecting on Decade, and that's a Karthus spit out and knocked down. The Olaf gonna find another one. Villains has the ult, finds the next double kill, and Bobbin doesn't have the damage, and once again it's CTC left all by himself to pick up the pieces, but he can't do anything. It's just a Kraken Slayer on that Kai'Sa. He doesn't have the range, he doesn't have the options, and so Blue Sky Eagles are just gonna swoop over and grab a Baron.
Renekton was the pick last game.
Yep, Renekton was the pick last game. There we go.
Bobbin got into Jenkins, and yeah, didn't work out for him last game, and the Wukong pick this game isn't working out either. It must be said that it's not purely his picks that is the problem, especially in this game. This Blitzcrank, as we've mentioned a couple times, just doesn't fit at all with how you want to play against the comp from Blue Sky Eagles here. But
absolutely, I mean,
yeah.
You kind of want something like a Braum, right? You want disengage, you want to get away, you want to protect your carries, and the Blitzcrank definitely doesn't help with that.
Or even if you want to have a pick potential, you'd want something that's more pick potential in terms of locking them where they are.
Look at that. Villains just grabs the 1v4 because he can, as Smiley engages on him. The old last second. Maybe he finds him the kill on CTC. 1v4. Villains just pulls out the big plays. Knockup's not gonna land, but Jenkins gonna run down Smiley anyway. Tongue lash for the unstoppable top laner for the Blue Sky Eagles. And we thought it's going to take blue side for them to win. No, it's working on red side as well, because they just have VIS eSports number in the early game. They're going to take this inhibitor turret, the inhibitor to boot, and that is just beautiful to watch.
Honestly, they could even try for the end here. I don't think they will. Yeah, much safer to just go back out, use these Baron buff recalls to get home quick and spend. But oh my goodness, I don't know if you saw it. Okay, that's an odd Blastgun. But the shutdown on Villains, 1,000 gold.
Went to Smiley?
Yep.
Of course it did.
Oh, it's just... And they end up obviously losing the fight overall afterwards, and losing, parts of their base. Yeah, and Clansol
That's a big thing as well. Oh, now maybe with the Requiem Raid to re-engage, Shady has a good chunk of damage, but immediately gets taken down. The damages are so high, he can't even run at them. Bobbin can't even get in with the ult because that Muslim is still on cooldown. 600, gonna take the Mystic shots and laughing his way straight to the bank. Double kill for the Ezreal. No mercy left to give. And they're just gonna run it down bot, run it down top. It's gonna be another inhibitor turret. Once again, Jenkins gets hooked. He looks very happy about that one. And CTC can just watch his team crumble in front of his eyes.
I thought 600 ABM maybe went a bit too far forward there and was gonna get caught out, but CTC didn't have enough damage and the hook was on cooldown. But man,
rough times.
That's rough time. This is really rough for VIS. We were talking already how they have to think about Game 5, and what's the mental gonna be like?
Especially after you opened the series with 2 back-to-back slugfests. VIS
exactly.
Demolished the Blue Sky Eagles here in the first 2 games, and you go into games 3 and 4. The Jhin is banned out, and suddenly everything crumbles. Kind of seems like as soon as CTC's bot lane isn't winning hard, the whole game plan falls apart.
Yeah, it's been really tricky for them to find stuff.
Yeah, Solar Flare gonna go down. Shady gets the flash out, but doesn't get away here. gonna get taken out. They pick Smiley Lee as well. Bobbin in the midst of that one, gonna spin to win. More like spin to his death. CTC trying to find any damage on Dalika, but he can't even kill the Leona because Villains is there to save him with the ultimate. That's gonna be the last fight of the game. It's gonna be the Nexus turrets, and it's gonna be the series evened out to 2-2. We're heading to game 5.
Kale only hit level 16 on the final minion wave of the game. That's how one-sided this was. Incredible play coming out from the side of Blue Skies. That was really, again, very clean game. I'm loving it.
That was absolutely glorious. I mean, I mentioned it, right? The Kale can make or break the game, right? If your side lanes win hard, you can carry this one through and just demolish everything, and that is exactly what happened. I mean, a good chunk of it was actually on the back of Villains, because he, together with Killer, got a good chunk done. Also, Dalika, fantastic roams towards the mid lane in the early game, just putting on so much pressure on Shady. Not much left to do for VIS eSports there to kind of get back in that one.
Yeah, and it has to be said, Bobbin, not a great performance in the last 2 games. He does need to find an extra gear for this game 5. Maybe it's a champion pick. Maybe they just need to try and get him a more comfortable matchup, or something that, or maybe try and put Jenkins on something he's less familiar with. But they do need to find something in this last game.
Absolutely. I have some ideas where they could go, but we'll talk about that in just a second. We'll go to a very quick 1 or 2 minute break, and then we'll be right back. Roll the silver scrapes, because game 5 is coming up in this lower bracket final. Let's see who's gonna take the ticket to the grand finals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Silver Scrape, going to game 5. Game 5. Silver Scrape, going to game 5. Going to game 5.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, did anyone order a Game 5? Because that is what we got for you right now in the Valence League Season 11 Division 1 playoffs. It's the lower bracket final between Blue Sky Eagles and VIS eSports. And after a convincing first 2 games, VIS eSports are currently in the middle of getting reverse swept by the Eagles, and it's not looking good. We're going into Game 5 with a lot of momentum. In the earlier season, VIS eSports was pretty dominant. They've had a magic run through the lower bracket, and the big question is, are the Eagles going to stop them short just before the grand finals, or can they actually pull it out? I'm Lithy, and with me is Foxy himself once again, and we are heading into this pick ban any moment. And Foxy, we talked backstage about the last few drafts already. What are the key points we're looking at as we are heading into this right now?
There's 2 key points here. The first is Jin for CTC. Without Jin, CTC has found it way harder to play safe. He lost that composure that he had in the first 2 games, where he was just able to keep out of range of everything that Blue Skies were able to throw at him. And there is the Jin ban. So already ticked 1 out of 2 boxes. The other box, which is a little bit harder to tick, is the matchup in top lane between Bobbin and Jenkins. Last couple of games, Bobbin has had the counter pick, and it has not worked out for him. So I want to see what they're going to do topside. They need to do something there to keep this under control, because last game especially was painful for them in the top lane.
Absolutely. Bobbin very outmatched there, and this time around they make some pretty critical changes to their pick ban. They ban out the Ezreal and they first pick the Leona, and that's immediately going to be answered by the Olaf for Killer and the Alistar for Dalika.
Alistar being this earlier pick is a little bit odd. I was expecting that maybe they would try and power pick the Kayn.
It's a Trundle.
Baby. Yeah. There's the Trundle. So I have been waiting for some Trundle picks to come out because he's a nice, cool champion, as you and I have both learned from casting some of the previous games here in the Valence League.
It's a real
So,
pillar in his team.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And okay, Tristana, is that for mid lane or is it for CTC in the bot lane?
Could be a
We
flex
don't
pick.
know.
I mean, I'd like to see CTC on that Tristana. Kind of matches his playstyle fairly well, I'd say, in terms of
The Tom
how
Kench.
aggressive you can go in the early game, put a lot of damage out, and once again, the bench is empty because the Kench himself is going to join the Rift, probably in the hands of Jenkins for the top side. But once again, Bobbin has the counter pick, and now he knows Wukong isn't working.
Yes, and this is really the crucial phase for VIS. They need to try and get something through the bans. Kale, actually a brilliant ban, because if you think about it, these three champions on the red side at the moment are almost exactly the same as in the previous game. Alistar swapped for Leona, but Alistar is still just a super tanky engaged champion. So yeah, they Kale was a very good ban here. Having those three tanks be in front of the Kale in the previous game made it basically impossible to kill her.
Cassio ban to
Cassio
follow,
as
so
well.
really hitting villains where it hurts. Those key picks that he managed to carry game 3 and 4 on. Yeah, you bring up the Corki. He had a fantastic game on that one, but that wasn't enough to carry the whole advantage home they were able to gain out of this. So I'm curious what they pick up now, because they have at least the Blue Sky Eagles have at least one counter pick. It's going to be the Vayne for the bot lane, maybe.
I think it has to. It has to be for bot lane, right? Where do you put Tom Kench if he's not top lane? Unless it's a Vayne mid lane. But Gwen here, I like Gwen.
I love the Gwen. Please lock it in. Yes, thank you. Put Bobo Bobbin on the carries. Put him on a Gwen. Let him dominate the game from the top side. And then put the resources towards CTC to make sure he just stomps his lane. That's the game plan that can carry them to victory here. Just needs a mid laner to round this comp out. And I am very, very curious what's going to come in here.
Yeah. Yone.
Yes.
Throwing down the gauntlet here all across the board. Oh man, what is the counter pick for this going to be? I'm so excited for the Gwen, because
this looks like full-on comfort straight up for VIS eSports.
But it's also full-out comfort for Blue Skies from what we've seen so far. Vayne maybe a little bit of an odd pick here out of what they've been playing overall, but it's still a champion that is very strong. And Kassadin?
Ooh, okay.
I mean, so the thing is that this game they don't have an Ezreal in bot lane, so they don't have that incredible safety to be able to constantly have Delica rolling and protecting mid lane. So I'm not super hype on the Kassadin here if we have a similar situation with the supports basically living in mid lane. But I will say that this Gwen pick is very exciting, because in the previous draft, Bobbin was effectively forced onto an AD pick in top lane against the Tom Kench, and Tom Kench obviously kind of destroyed him. But this time, the rest of the map is AD. Yeah, the rest of the map is AD, and he's able to pick the AP champion of Gwen, who, even though I wouldn't say that she has an easy matchup into Tom Kench, she is well known for destroying tanks that go up against her. I'm not entirely sure on the Tom Kench matchup specifically.
I'd go
but I
as
do know
far...
that into like Sion, Ornn, etc. She's really strong.
I've been playing a lot of Gwen recently, and while I can't speak to high elo games because I'm obviously a normal game scrub, Gwen feels really good into Tahm Kench. Of course, you always have to respect the giant catfish, but It's definitely, for me, the lane definitely is favored towards Bobo Bobbin, and especially if he gets some assistance from Decade on the jungle trundle, he can make that work and snowball that top side. And overall, just across the board, it's, for me, winning lanes for VIS eSports. And even though it's not really a team fight optimized comp, it's a comp that can win early, snowball the mid game, and just hit that advantage home.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Kassadin and the Vayne picks here. They're very vulnerable in the early game. And, Kayle last game had that possibility of maybe winning out in the 1v1 or maybe going even in the 1v1. But Kassadin against the Yone has way more opportunities to constantly dive in, harass, and try and assassinate the Kassadin than Silas did onto Kayle. And in bot lane, likewise, it's not an Ezreal this time. Tristana Leo can absolutely just jump on this Vayne if she's not careful. So
she can disengage a bit on the Alistar, right? But not too much. And it's gonna be a spicy matchup for sure. And
this
of course,
is so close.
It's gonna be spicy as hell.
Yeah, I'm not even sure on the channel prediction. This is.
Yeah, I mean, get your predictions in, guys. If you know whom you're voting for, if you want to get your points in on who is taking this series home after this game, definitely do it now. I can see it go both ways. If this eSports manage to dominate the early game and snowball that lead, their comp is perfect for that. On the other side, though, you get a Kassadin rolling, you get a Vayne rolling. Yeah, you don't want to stand in their way in the mid to late game.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the mistakes, and maybe that's the difference maker. Game 5 played for a very long time now, almost 4 hours at this point for them. Or it must feel like almost 4 hours for them. So, are we going to be seeing more mistakes coming out, especially when you're trying to make aggressive plays against the Kassadin, against the Vayne, or are we going to try and? Or we maybe going to see them try not to risk things for fear of those mistakes that come out when you start to, wear yourself down over these long series. And oh man, this is so tough.
Endurance is the big keyword here, and it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm all here for it. We're loading into the Rift slowly but surely. Game 5 will start momentarily. And I'm so excited to see who pulls this one out. And it's just the lower bracket final. It's just the lower bracket final. And what a banger series this has been. I'm really, really excited to see if the Blue Sky Eagles can complete the reverse sweep, or if VIS are going to complete the miracle run through the lower bracket from the very beginning, winning 3 series in a row? 4 series in a row. 3 series in a row.
Two series in a row, but without losing a game. Up until game 3 of this series. So I feel like this game 5 could well play out almost exactly like the series and almost the playoffs run for VIS as a whole. They need to get momentum going and then keep that momentum going. And if Blue Skies can at any point stop them in their tracks, it's going to be really tough for them to win and get that momentum going again. So
absolutely, it's a big question.
It's going to be a doozy.
Yeah, all at 10. It's a big question of getting going in the early game, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm just going to go back to 10 seconds because I have a 4. There we go.
Off to the Rift we are. It's game 5 between VIS eSports and the Blue Sky Eagles. VIS in blue this time around the Blue Sky Eagles. Maybe we'll request a rename to the Red Sky Eagles, but it's another 5 stack looking for the mid lane. That's an Olaf. That's a quick flash stun. Can they follow this one up? No, it's the Ghost traded immediately as well as the Exhaust trying to follow up. So much damage. Another Leona stun lands, and it's the first blood in game 5 for VIS eSports.
That's 4 sums blown before the first minute of the game is passed. Minions aren't even close to spawning yet. Okay.
And it's
They were ready for
goddamn
this.
worth it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what is this? Ghost? Oh, it's Ghost on Trundle. It's
Yep.
Ghost Smite as well. So Ghost burned on Olaf, Ghost burned on Trundle, Flash burned on Leona, and Exhaust burned on Tristana. So awful lot of cooldowns here. And I wonder... Okay, so the Red Ward has seen Decade go down to this red buff, so they do have that information for the side of Blue Skies, and it looks like they're actually going to be the ones that set up a lane cheese here.
Yep.
Just sitting in the bush. Don't know how long they'll stay there for. No, it looks like
We'll
600
see that
APM
in a
has-
second, but as you mentioned,
down.
that ward certainly spotting out the Trundle early on. They know, especially they know now the Trundle is running for that enemy blue immediately, and Killer now can adapt adapt his game plan depending on that decision. And I'm really curious where that leads him in terms of the early jungle.
Yeah, that's gonna be really crazy, and obviously invading, getting this whole blue side for Decade is really nice for him, because they really want to pressure this Vayne and Kassadin as much as possible, and splitting the map like this is huge, because if they manage to pull off a gank here, which they may well do, there is a ward in the river to spot out Trundle, so I'm not expecting anything to happen. But yeah, they are looking for stuff, and they're gonna just be able to keep doing that so long as the map stays in this state. There's not a whole lot that can be done.
There's the Zenith Blade, there's the Tristana going in, gets exhausted, and that is the summoner advantage gone, and they can't even really trade anything back properly. I mean, Smiley takes a lot of damage from the Vayne, but that was to be expected, still very much in their favor. And here is the 1v1. It turns into a 1v2 because Gwen is there. She is immune to any shape, form, or whatever else you see thrown at her outside of the mists. And that's a Gwen picking up a kill, a double buff, and is now gonna bully this Tahm Kench out of lane hard. I mentioned it in draft. You give Bobo Bobbin a carry, and he's gonna run away with the game. Look at Jenkins chunked out in his own lane.
Yeah, this is what the fear was for Blue Skies in this game 5. Would Bobbin find the counterpick, and Jenkins almost getting killed there. That was a bit dangerous to go in for the wave. But
that's a 4-man gank to the mid lane. Smiley with a Hex Flash over the wall. The Sun Lancer Tristan, the Kassadin, and his CTC with the damage. Leona gets executed. Villains gets nothing for his troubles. And the bot lane of VIS eSports is off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, this is the momentum. This is what they needed to have for the side of VIS eSports. I want to see how long they're going to be able to keep this going. It looks like, so far, until the enemy Nexus explodes. But, yeah, beautiful gank coming there into the mid lane, and,
that was a...
oh, yeah, okay.
I gotta praise this rotation a bit more. It's absolutely fantastic. You pull up the complete bot lane to dive a Kassadin on level 4 in the mid lane. Absolutely genius. You get out without even dropping a kill to the enemy. Leona dies, gets executed, doesn't count. And you go back to the bot lane, double longsword and the Tristana. Sure, she's a few CS behind, but your mid lane Yone is winning. Your Trundle is winning. The Gwen is winning. You are winning. It's game 5. Can't go better than this.
Exactly, and
the flash, the engage, the TP comes in. It's Bobo Bobbin from the top side. Never mind, it is gonna be shady, and the plays come in. That Alistar is dropping low. They don't get him, but they do get the Vayne, and it's all falling apart here for the Blue Sky Eagles.
Yikes! Yikes! Okay, yeah, this is. It's getting tough already for the side of Blue Skies. This is almost the opposite of what we were seeing in game 3 and 4. Oh, he's taken 3 tower shots.
And he doesn't even get the blade. Shady with the flash. up, he has the damage, but Cade, the dragon overextend, comes back with a vengeance. CTC can't save him, but they trade a kill. The Drake is gonna go over to them anyway. What is going on in game 5 here, Foxy?
Villains managed to escape. Okay. Okay. It just happens everywhere at the same time. It's so hard to keep track of. And wow. Okay, so right. Let's recollect. Ocean Drake going to the side of VIS. Alistar got a kill on Decade on the Trundle, so that happened. And Villains escaped. Okay, yeah. So
Barely.
all of that happened in the space of about 15 seconds. But yeah, that was a close one, certainly for Villains in that mid lane there. I don't know how he ended up taking 3 tower shots.
He was greeting for the plating and underestimated the
Yeah,
minions
he
being
didn't get
close
it.
enough. And he didn't even get the plating. That's the funniest part about this whole thing.
Yeah, that was so risky. I mean, I guess they are trying to get like that little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah.
And I will say that the Tristana pick actually here was so big brain because, you know, they've been trying to put him on semi-safe picks after Jhin has been banned, but yeah. Now they just
you don't need
aggressive.
CTC to be safe, you need CTC to make plays. And he's just gonna go in. He's actually picking up a red buff now and going back to the bot lane with that, and that is massive this early on. Jesus, this Tristana is gonna be a menace within minutes. 3-0-1. That's what? Almost 3k in his bags. He is loving this.
Yeah, and it's almost a 2,000 gold lead as well for the team overall, and at this point in the game, that's pretty huge. Most of that, I believe, is on the Tristana. We will just double check. 600 on the Tristana,
a lot
400
on the Gwen.
in jungle as well, and yeah, another 600 on the Gwen, so pretty nice leads coming out here early on, and
it's only gonna get better. I mean, CTC, they're now pushing the turrets. Once this Tristana gets going on the turrets, she's gonna pick up platings after platings. She has 6 minutes to knock down 15 platings across this map. Actually 14, because one is already down in the mid lane.
But luckily for the side of Blue Skies, it's not quite that simple for Tristana. She does have to respect the possibility that she sets off the bomb and gets tower aggro, and then Alistar, you know, flashes over a wall and manages to get the knockup on her, which can obviously lead to death under the tower. But
absolutely.
yeah, do have to be careful, but definitely possible for them to snowball this out of control if they play it right. As Gwen is
you have
immune.
the Olaf running in. Gwen just presses her W and you can't pick her off because you can't land any skill shots, any of these long range CCs on her. Tongue Slap is not going to do anything either. So Bobbin, quite honestly, Gwen the perfect pickup for him here. Smiley all by himself. This might be a little bit dangerous for the Leona, but Villains has no mana and can't really follow up on that Kassadin.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to be able to walk out there. They're just... And I do like that Smiley is staying around this top side.
Yep, and Jenkins, the pillar! The pillar doesn't stop his jump. Trundle has the ult, Gwen has the damage, but Killer is here to trade one back. It's gonna be 1-for-1. Cade running out of steam, and Olaf only gets more dangerous when he gets low. He's gonna chop real quick through that one, picks up the double, and once again, it's the jungler from Blue Sky Eagles that is popping off to save the day.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 pretty nice kills up there in the top lane. Jenkins is not going to be feeling too bad about dying there. You know, Tom Ketch is actually not supposed to go, you know, what was it, like 7-2?
Yeah,
was last game.
True.
It's generally not supposed to happen when you have a tank into a carry, but
yep.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely happy with that, and Killer 2 kills is going to even up his gold, actually put him ahead of Decade as well, as we do have a quick pause. At least I'm hoping it's going to be a quick
issues
pause.
once again going on, but as you mentioned, Olaf now ahead might actually be enough to buy that gore drinker. He has 2,200 gold in his pockets, and that is going to catapult him forward quite immensely for the upcoming fights, because you don't want to mess with an Olaf with an early gore drinker.
No, you
So
don't.
that Infernal Drake coming up in 45 seconds, that is going to be an interesting objective to contest, and we can already see bot lane priority for VIS eSports is absolutely on point. Now they just need to use that to get some vision established around the Drake pit.
Yeah, but something I want to note here is that this is, again, I don't know how many games it's been. I'm pretty sure it's been all of them, where Valence is hugely, like, starting to pull out a gap in the mid lane. It's 21 CS ahead at the moment. And just, 100 gold ahead, based on just because of the assist that Yone has picked up. Yeah, but it feels like Valence has taken control of this lane from Shady throughout the series, has grown more and more dominant as each game goes past, and this game especially, it could be really important for him on this Kassadin to bring out his own lead. And if they don't contain Valence at all in this lane, we saw last game how dangerous Kayle can be if she's allowed to scale. Kassadin pretty much in the same ballpark, so they really can't afford to let him scale.
I definitely agree. The Kassadin is really, really tricky to deal with in the late game, especially once he gets rolling with a few items. But overall, I don't think he gets anywhere close to the danger that a Kayle is going to pose. But definitely one of the winning conditions left for the Blue Sky Eagles. They gotta get through this early game. They gotta get on board with Valence and 600 scaling on that Vayne, on that Kassadin. And from there on out, they can start to pull back in the mid game, pull back in the late game, start winning team fights. And Killer on that Olaf having 2 early kills, that's a good start, because that guarantees you a fairly beefy frontline.
Yeah, it's really nice for them. But I do want to point out that... Oh no, hang on. I keep blanking on this because I see the Halfbound Axe on Trundle, and I keep thinking, oh, is that a first item Wit's End? But no, it's probably the Triforce that's going to come in. I keep forgetting that that's the item for it now. But yeah. Oh, this is, it's not a bad situation for either team really, because for the side of Blue Skies, they just really want to delay the game. That's all they want to do, and all they need really is to pick up one of these next 2 Drakes that are going to spawn, and they're set to do that. An extra 5 minutes on top of the timer for the opposing team potentially getting to Soul is huge for a team comp like this. So
it's certainly a massive gain for your game plan, but the question is, can you actually contest this? You have a 3-0 Tristana. I mean,
that's the thing is your
CDC is a bit late on the back, right? He only has 400 gold in his pocket, but he is very, very powerful at the moment.
Is it better, do you think, to fight now before CTC and Shady hit their mid-game power spikes, or is it better to try and wait and fight them later? Because you are probably going to have to fight before you give over Soul Point, just because you want to avoid having the coin flip of a Smite Steal basically ending the game.
Yep.
From Decade, and Decade has, I think, overall had the better smites all series long, so much as you would like to trust your jungler to win out the smites, it's often not so easy to do that.
Quite honestly, I think you have to fight now.
Yeah.
Because once the Tristana power spikes start rolling in, then your tanky front line isn't gonna look that happy anymore. Olaf has a massive spike right now with the Gore Drinker. That is a huge help.
That's probably the biggest reason.
Yeah, as mentioned, CTC and 600 are fairly even. But there's just so much pressure, especially with the Herald on the bot lane as well. I'm not sure if this straight contest is going to go well.
This is the most powerful point for Olaf relative to everyone else. So
yeah,
I would like to see them at least try and look to contest it. It feels, it thinks, yeah, it looks like they're not going to do that. Okay, so gonna have to try and wait for the next one. I don't think they'll be able to contest the next one either, realistically, with the way these two team comps scale. So,
and it's the only Infernal Drake that's gonna spawn all day that was just picked up, right?
Yeah, and it's picked up by... Oh, that was a Captain Jack.
That was a quick cleanse.
Yeah. Well, Captain Jack is for QSS, but...
Decade all by himself, caught out in the jungle. That's dangerous. The Trundle gonna steal some health back, but 2v1 can't do much, and that's another kill on the Olaf, and that is the picks that the Eagles need so desperately right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Just a bit of an overextension there. I think he got spotted on that ward that just expired in the top river there, placed down by Valence, I think, a couple minutes ago. And yeah, just really good pick from the side of Blue Skies. That's exactly what they needed to stop the snowball.
Yep. I mean, you can see Shady in the mid lane actually going for the knockup. He cancelled Kassadin's ult. He is very low. This could actually be the 1v1 kill, but Gwen gets devoured in the top side. She has the ult, but won't be able to do anything with it. Killer gives her a quick slap to the face. Is going to take her out. Smiley in the mid lane. He does connect the Zenith Blade. Can Shady follow up? No, he can't. It's gonna be Villains walking away with this one. As the Trundle shows up in the bot lane, exhaust on the Vayne, the follow-up with the damage is gonna land. That's another rocket jump ready for CTC. It's a 4th kill for the Tristana, and this is not looking good for Alistair. TP channeled in. This is Jenkins joining the fray, but that's a Tahm Kench without too much movement speed. He can follow up, so they get out with nothing.
Wow. Okay. It's again, it all kicks off across the map, and it's still going here in mid. No, okay, he's not. I thought he was going to solo dive him, but maybe not for this one. But yeah, no, a bit of a unfortunately timed exhaust in the bot lane for Deleka on the Tristana. If he had waited just a little bit longer, he would have been able to negate the bomb damage for Tristana, which is, you know, her biggest huge little burst moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't. Slightly mistimes it, and then she obviously picks up the kill. So she's got.
Sorry for interrupting you, but can we quickly talk about how much time Jenkins just wasted hanging around mid for a potential dive on Shady, and he lost. What, 3-4 waves on top side crashing into his turret just now?
Yeah, he lost a lot for that. And it's basically evened out the whole thing they had on top.
Going for a big trade. Olaf caught on the top side, but they don't want to really fight him. I mean, I can understand that. Don't want to mess around with an Olaf with a Gore Drinker. He's 50 CS ahead of that Trundle.
Yeah, he's pretty huge in this game. It's really becoming a case of top side versus bot side here. Olaf super ahead for the side of Blue Skies, and Tristana obviously super ahead for the side of VIS.
It's a bit more it's Olaf against the world, right? Because every single lane is losing for the Eagles right now. But there's the Trundle caught out with the headbutt pulverize combo, and Decade is indeed gonna lose his life. Kill goes over to Jenkins. He's gonna scale a little bit more with that. While Tristana grabs turret first blood on the bot side.
Yeah. So currently a 2,500 gold lead for Tristana in the bot lane, and on the other side, I believe it is it's 1.5 for Olaf on Trundle, but that gold lead is completely even in top lane now. It was hugely in Jenkins' favor, but obviously, as you pointed out, with him spending so much time in the mid lane, Bobbin was effectively able to just completely negate the entire lead that he had. individually.
Yeah.
But the Tristana is certainly getting to be a bit of a problem. Almost 2 items already.
Yeah,
Or
and now the turret is
1.5.
gone, now the Tristana is unlocked, and CTC is just gonna roll up on mid lane and start chipping away at this turret. Olaf did pick up the Herald, once again caught out, but Cade is a little bit squishy. That's a
he's got
Trundle all
Goldring
by
as well.
himself. Oh no, you can't give that shot down to the Tristana. It's 700 gold to CTC, and that just 5 seconds before the dragon spawns. A dangerous mistake coming in here from Killer, who has had such a fantastic game so far.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him. Jenkins going in top lane.
Oh, actually going for the dive. I did
Ivy?
not expect that. Bobbin gets devoured up. He was trying to clear his stacks, but Tom Kench is taking so much damage underneath the turret from the shots.
Oh my,
when
is that enough?
actually gets out with a sliver of health, gets to clean the minions, and survives the ignite. He's gonna be able to recall now, and Jenkins gets nothing.
Oh,
no.
That was so close. And that's an Alistar being caught out by a Trundle. Still gets the pink ward.
He actually
word.
pops the goal. CTC is there as well. Like that. 6 on the bank for Tristana. He is massive.
Yeah, getting that shot down on the Olaf, by the way. Okay, there isn't going to be a. Oh no, Herald was spawned.
It's a little bit of a back and
down.
forth, but nothing major.
It's not
Oh, actually, the engage on the Vayne
okay.
lands and Smiley.
Okay,
that was a little bit too deep. They don't want to face up with that Kassadin.
Yeah, ended up putting himself behind 600 APM, and I believe 600 APM buffered a Condemn, which just sent him back past the rest of the team. And there really wasn't much in the way of follow-up left over.
Talk about hard to engage.
Yeah, it's that's a bit unfortunate, but I was saying the Tristana is on 8,500 total gold this game.
Yep.
Closest person, or Vayne at the moment, is on 5.8k.
Yep.
5.9.
Bobbin in the top side fighting. I mean, that's Gwen versus Kassadin. The Gwen is winning the 1v1 here to an extent. Bobbin has to run now because the Olaf is showing up, but overall, he can still hold a candle to this Kassadin, and that is absolutely massive because Gwen is scaling not as well as a Kassadin, I'd say, but almost as good.
She scales pretty well, and all they need to do really is neutralize the Kassadin with the Yone, which they have been doing so far. Villains, despite getting a CS lead here, the gold difference between the two mid laners is 1 gold. It's non-existent. So, it's they've been doing a pretty good job so far to just keep him completely contained. Although he is scaling, obviously, everyone else is scaling faster because of how much action there's been. So,
oh my god,
he's behind despite not being put behind, if that makes sense.
Look at what CTC just picked up. He completed the Lord Dominic's and grabbed a BF sword.
Feels good, man.
Yeah, feels good, man, but doesn't feel good at all, man.
Oh, not
for
the
the Eagles, because
not
they
for
have
Jenkins.
they have to fight that Tristana.
Oh no, 35%.
Oh, there you go, CTC. Look at that. That's 3 auto attacks. The solar flare from downtown. Smiley Lee does indeed have a grin on his face after that one. What a snipe!
That was. What was that? That was that? No, that was not through exhaust. Okay.
No.
It was CTC that exhausted 600 APM. But Jesus, if he just gets a little buffer in there for his R as well, then that's just straight up a dead Vayne. I mean, it was a dead Vayne anyway with Solar Flare, but
Tom Kench going in, look at that, 4 auto attacks, and that Tom Kench is done and dusted. CTC a little bit far forward, gets exhausted, stunned up. Alistair
Chasing
looking
for the
for the
kill.
place. Killer needs to back out as Shady comes in from the backside with the ultimate, looking for the plays, and Gwen puts some needles in their chest. Beautiful ultimate coming in from Bobo Bobbin. Decade a little bit overeager underneath the turret, takes the shot in, it's gonna go down. Kill goes over to Villains. as the fight winds down, but overall you can see how far ahead VIS is at the moment. That is not a lead you want to fight against right now.
No, not really.
Oh,
but
never mind. Jenkins does want to fight. The shutdown goes over to Tom Kench. The Tristana is down. Bobbin in the backside fighting with Killer 1v1. It is Shady against 3. He pushes out the Kassadin, but the Vayne gonna pick up the shutdown here. Bobbin gonna get nailed to the ground from Villains' damage. He gets out with 10 HP. That's
an ace.
Ace for the Eagles, and suddenly this game is blown back wide open.
Man, I did not expect Jenkins to just be appearing right on top of the Tristana there. That was crazy. They just went in. I was about to say they have to be careful because Tristana's half HP, and then she was 0 HP. Wow. Just instantly on its head. The gold lead is now gone. It is 100 gold in Blue Sky Eagles' favor, actually.
Look at that. The Eagles are pulling the trigger on Dragon. They want to
secure
the soul from going over, but immediate Baron Rush coming in from VIS. They're not hesitating a second. And with that Tristana, they have so much damage, they're just going to melt this. Killer coming in for the Olaf. Maybe he can get a steal. It wouldn't be the first one in this series. Tom Kench going in, Jenkins in the middle. The Baron down to 2k. Killer looking for the axe. Chop. It is the smite secured, and the Baron picked up. Jenkins going down. Killer has to pull out, and it is the Baron secured for VIS. Eagles do get the Cloud Drake, but that only delays the soul by another 4 minutes. And with this Baron, this is gonna be a tough nail to swallow.
Yeah, that is well played. Good macro from the side of VIS, recognizing that they don't actually need to take the Cloud Soul right now. They can just go and take that Baron. And this is where the ghost on Olaf really kind of hurts, because he had no way to actually get into the pit. There was no blast cone for him, and yeah, it just kind of sucks.
Look how Tristana melts the turrets.
Yeah, that's... Towers, they aren't enjoying themselves in this game. But I will say that Villains is starting to get to a point where he is a huge threat.
Smiley gets caught out, gets locked up, the Solar Flare goes down, and for the moment they just pull back. They don't want to fight this 4v5. You have Shady in the bot lane without a TP, so they just give up the Leona, say, okay, you caught us, that's fine, we'll pull back for now. Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at the two champions that have the bounties at the moment, these are the two players that you need to keep your eyes on, because they are the hopes and dreams of their teams at the moment. Villains is getting closer and closer to the point where he's going to be able to basically delete CTC off the map, and CTC can already delete everyone else off the map, but he needs to make sure that he stays alive. So
we're 24 minutes in. He has 3 items with the Lord Dominic's and the Infinity Edge, as well as the stopwatch.
Stopwatch.
This Tristana can't die in a team fight unless they get the drop on CTC with a massive engage.
So I don't know if you've seen any of the various Reddit threads on the value of stopwatch, but I'm one of those players of the opinion that the value of stopwatch is a nexus. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Well, Decade is a little bit caught out. They have too much damage and no courage. Absolutely no courage from VIS. They don't want to fight this. I don't get it. Why?
I think they are scared of trying to fight the Kassadin in long-term fights. If he starts off by getting a kill and being able to proc Conqueror before they can do
the knockout, that's the drop. The stopwatch comes in from CTC, but he's on 200 HP. Immediate shutdown comes in. Smiley Lee caught out, and this is VIS eSports crumbling under the talons of the Eagles.
Oh my god.
Bobbin basically gets out by himself because he wasn't even in that fight, and the bot lane Shady is pushing, but talk about throwing a game, man.
Yeah. That was an 8-0 Tristana at one point. 8-2 now, and it's getting harder and harder them to keep control of this
comes
game.
in,
And
they're
that's
looking for the dive, but
engage.
Bobbin alone against 4. DK trying to help him out, but that Trundle can't do much. 2, 6, and 9. Triforce and the Thornmail for him available. He's not doing much. Now finally Shady is joining back on with the team, but
They just keep getting caught out on the side of VIS. They're just slightly too far forward, not respecting it. You know, Cade was dead. They didn't need to be where they were. Yeah, it's game 1. It's the whole series all over again, man. They've started out, you know, stomping the whole way, and then out of nowhere, boom, blue skies have flipped a switch, and now it feels like VIS can't do anything. I mean, they still have opportunities, but
the thing is, they
keep
get
making
caught
mistakes.
off guard by these Tahm-Kench engages so much. They need more visions in the vision in the jungle. They need to push in and need to look for these these aggressive plays with the solar flare. They get the pick on the first tank. They get the Tahm-Kench as well, and suddenly that advantage is gone. Yon is in the fight as well, but CTC. Man, that was a little bit too much, and that is the Tristana down. That's most of the gold gone on VIS, and now Bobbin overextending again by himself. The Yon now diving in to fight the fight. His team can't anymore. He's gonna go out. The Kassadin follows up, and Villains is online. Give that man a Quadra, give that man a Penta, because the Eagles are back in business.
Oh no, VIS, why? CTC, why? We were just saying overextensions, over-aggression. The whole series, it's been the Achilles heel for both teams, and it comes up again. CTC, he thought he was reckless, man. He kept going, he kept jumping, and you know, man, I feel like he forgot Kassadin was in the game there, because that was an incredibly bad mistake.
You have a little more than a point there. That he was reckless in the most literal sense of the word. But,
that's true. Yeah.
Bad jokes need to stay outside, as this is game 5, and VIS. I don't know what is going on the team comms right now, but they are still very much in the position to pull this one back. They have the damage. They just need to find the right fights with this Tristana.
Yeah, I mean, they had that spark, right? They suddenly realized, oh yeah, we're like super fed with Tristana, right? We could just kill 2 people straight up. But then like they went, or CTC on his own went too far. It felt like the rest of the team thought, okay guys, all of our cooldowns are down. We gotta wait. We gotta chill out. And CTC wanted to keep going, and it's that slight miscommunication that comes out in these tense games, and it's cost them.
Yeah,
it's another Cloud Drake
going the way of the Eagles as well, off of the back of that Kassadin pentakill, and now Baron is once again on the map, and still very much a position from which VIS can win these fights, but they gotta get the drop on that Kassadin. You gotta focus that Kassadin out. He has 4 items, loads of armor, so he's gonna be a tough customer, but you still can get this one. Jenkins, once again,
diving forward, but he's not catching an important carry this time, so they are just gonna back out. They've basically been just sort of cycling in and out. Oh my goodness, they are. They burst this quick. They have a Vayne.
They are going in. Bobbin is the front line, but the pillar comes in, splits the team. Kassadin locked down in the backline. CTC exhausted, but he now joins the fight. The damage is insane. The Kassadin is almost down with the Vayne. The Vayne is online. 600 APM are not quite enough to get away from here. Bobbin and Shady are gonna be the ones to deal the damage. VIS eSports take it back. It's a double kill for the Vayne. Sorry, for the Gwen. It's the Baron prevented, and the team fight 1 ace for VIS eSports.
Yeah, they're probably going to be able to do the Baron here. These champions do love to heal an awful lot. And, oh man, what happened to Villains in that fight? I just saw him die out of nowhere. I didn't know what happened.
You get disrupted by the Trundle pillar, You get
Oh, did he?
disrupted by everyone else jumping in, and then you kind of have the Tristana on the outskirts. Yes, you get the exhaust on her, but what are you gonna do? You can't get to her, and no one had the damage.
They're waiting for
They're waiting for eSports, making this really risky. Actually,
Ooh.
they actually bait out the TP. It's
Oh
Villains.
my.
Is he gonna look for picks? No, he's not.
Oh, he can't look for anything. They're too far away already. Is that... Everyone has Baron, right?
Yeah, everyone has
they all
Baron.
have Baron. Wow. Really well played
Massive.
from Bobbin and Shady. Managing to keep that Baron alive just in time to give everyone the buff. That's huge for them.
Yeah. That's a death cap Gwen now.
That is a
With
death
the
cap
Rift Maker, with anti-heal. You got the
I will say that
GA
is
up
also-
on CTC as well.
GA.
Look at the items coming in, man.
Yone coming towards a wit's end as well. Obviously doesn't have it yet, but he can't be far off in terms of golds. He's only 500 off, which is
Yeah.
what, 2 waves at this point.
Kills. Next fight,
yeah,
though,
2
Smiley
kills,
a
yeah.
little bit caught out, but
Uh-oh.
Dalika is all by himself there. The Alistair gets away. Shady follows up over the wall, but Bobo Bobbin is the important target here.
Oh,
He's all
Bobbin.
by himself. He doesn't have the flash, but he can get back in a second.
Yeah.
Some Kench jumps out, and now it's going to be a
Yeah,
push
shoes
towards
on
the
the other
base
foot.
with the Baron.
Yeah, 600 APM was top lane taking a wave. They didn't want to overextend and try and take the fight without the Vayne there, so
Exactly right.
understandable
call
for them to back up.
Jenkins, oh, he cancels the Tristana jump. The immediate engage follows. 600 APM pops the ult, goes in deep, but the Alistair is taken out. CTC drops low because Villains drops thin from the backside. Shady goes into the back line, finds the kill on the Vayne. The Kassadin has so much damage, gets devoured by the Tom Kench, and they can't turn this one around. Villains does get the kill, but Killer is gonna get dropped here. It's a double kill for the Gwen. 3 people alive for VIS eSports, and even though Villains did a fantastic fight performance here, it's not gonna be enough. This is gonna be an inhibitor down. The inhibitor turret in shambles, and
They're
it's a
gonna go for the
Kassadin
end.
against the world. Can he pull out this 1v3? Villains definitely has had the plays throughout the series, but Bobo Bobbin has some issues with this. He does tank the turret, he does have the needlework, and it is the shutdown. 900 gold going over, but Shady
Main up in 5
will be the
seconds.
one to chop up this turret. Dalika going for the defense, actually has enough CC and the exhaust invested to turn this one around. Shady is in trouble. There's a Vayne coming in. The Condemn popped. The shield bow gonna keep him alive for another second, but he has so much damage. He turns this one around. Dalika secures the kill, but Decayed, he can get away from this one. Possibly Jenkins
TP'd
TP'd
behind.
into the back line. The Tom Kench gonna chomp up a Happy Meal right here and catch the Trundle. The Eagles are gonna live to fight another day.
Oh my god, that was centimeters away from ending the game. It felt like 600. It felt like they could end, and then all of a sudden they couldn't, and then all
This
of a
is
sudden
so
they could
deep.
because 600 APM got caught.
Two tanks all up there lands. 6 TP
Oh, this
comes in.
is-
BTC against 2. Jenkins tries to get the knockup, but Killer takes so much
CTC.
damage. Tristana is on point. Bobo Bobbin has the needlework. Another double kill. It's another dragon throw. I thought we left those behind after game 2. What is happening,
my
Foxy?
God, that's Cloud Soul. That's Cloud Soul. So the next one, if we get to the next dragon, it should end the game, right? But oh my God, this is just getting hectic as hell.
This is absolutely mental.
That was beautiful kiting from CTC. It must be said. He used the resets extremely well to get out of that. Are they going to go for another fight here? Looks like they're trying to look for an engage with Shady. But
can't quite get it though, but
maybe
they
not.
Condemn
Oh,
invested.
goodness,
Smiley
anyway.
going in, Solar Flare goes wide, he goes deep underneath the turret, CTC in the backline, watch the Tristana, the Vayne looking for the big, it's 600 APM against the Tristana, he has the damage, he turns this one around, but the Nexus turrets are gone, and the Nexus falls, it is gonna be VIS eSports completing the miracle run through the lower bracket. They are gonna move on to their grand finals to face up against Eclipse Solar. What a matchup this was. GG.
Oh my God. What a game. What a way to cap off the series. This was incredible. The closest game we had all series. There were throws from both sides. There were brilliant plays from both sides. And VIS just coming out at the end. Like you said, Bobbin or Boba Bobbin on the Gwen, 14-5 at the end of that game. Oh, he stepped up when his team needed him. That was beautiful.
That was an insane series. What a performance. And it's once again, it's the working formula from game 1 and 2, right? You get CTC on something that he can dominate with. You get Bobbin on a champion that can carry, and suddenly everything works. Sure, Decade on the Trundle, little bit shaky performance there because Killer just absolutely on point the whole series in his jungle, especially with the Olaf. But overall, man, I have no words read.
I don't know what to say, man. You know, it's and with the way that we saw, you know, Jenkins completely dominate in game 4, right? On a Tom Kench. And he picks the same pick here, and you know, they're just ready, completely ready for it. They're like, yeah, we just got destroyed by you. We're fine with this matchup. We'll just run it back with the Gwen instead. And you know, shoes on the other foot. What a game!
What a game! I am at a loss for words, but that's the moment where we can pull in two people that were instrumental to this series going the way of VIS eSports. We do have Smiley on the support position and CTC, the ADC himself, coming in for a little bit of an interview. Gentlemen, welcome, good evening, and congrats on that win. That was a wild series.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we are a bit tired.
I can imagine.
Can imagine 4.5 hours of high pressure League of Legends.
Especially this last game, man.
Yeah, walk me through the team to the team communication a little bit after game 2, going through game 3 and 4.
Right, so first 2 games we already had prepared Jhin for the enemy team because we knew their playstyle. We knew that their AD carry plays Jhin in solo queue as well. So I thought Jhin is one of my main picks. Why not just play it? And it worked out just well. And then they realized, oh wait, this guy can play Jhin. Let's ban it. And our draft kind of had to shift a bit. They got to play their game. I mean, I'm pretty sure for the last 3 games, their bot lane was just perma-freezing 24/7. We couldn't do anything. So we tried game 3 and game 4, stay in lane and try to help the jungler whenever we can. But then game 5, we just shifted completely and we picked something with wrong potential, aka Leona and Tristana. We punished Kassadin mid early game, and it worked out just fine for us.
That's kind of going back to the initial recipe, right? Get something oppressive and just snowball really well. And Smiley, you did a wonderful job on the roams there, putting so much pressure, especially towards the mid lane. How much of a hand do you have in the shot calling on these aggressive plays when you're roaming?
Well, realistically, throughout the early game and mid game, essentially me and the jungler, we kind of split the map. Whichever side of the map I'm on, I kind of decide, and then mostly when we go like pre 15 minutes before tower plates drop, if I'm like, okay, yeah, we can dive here, we can look for something here, I call it, and then the jungler just kind of tries to figure out, okay, how to path to make that play happen.
Okay, so you're more or less the in-game leader, so to say, for the early game if you're currently coordinating most of the plays.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear. Is that a job that gets a little bit more difficult in these games where you're a little bit behind?
Well, the thing is us as a team, we've played against a bunch of teams before. Like we recently even had a scrim against the Kassadin, and we actually it was also a long banger of a game, and we kind of realized that if we just keep calm, like if we have our champions, right, if we have the champions that we feel comfortable on, and we stay calm, we should be in a good spot, but once we start panicking or like forcing stuff and feeling like we're on the back foot, that's when we start, falling apart. Like for example, in the biggest example was game 4. Game 3, it was I think the problem there was simply just the Cassiopeia hard counter all like 4 out of the 5 champions, and that's just up to bad draft, and that's like on me and the rest of the people that were responsible for draft. Meanwhile, game 4, it's just we decided to just keep going 100 miles an hour and keep forcing like on that KO mid, and we just couldn't get anything going because we were too impatient. And that's how we did it.
And speaking, more on the mental side of things, for you guys, you were on, I believe it was a 7-game win streak in total, if you include the first 2 games of this series. So, how do you maintain, that momentum of mental when you guys obviously got then forced to game 4 and then forced to game 5? How did you bring yourselves together and push it through for game 5?
Well, here's the thing. We already knew that Blue Sky Eagles have a good comeback potential. We've seen that against Eclipse Solar. When was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? When they were down 2-0 as well, and they won game 3 and had a very big lead game 4. So we knew we had to expect them to be able to make a comeback. So we just kept our composure. We've practiced a lot in scrims when we were behind. We just waited for scaling. We knew we had to do this, we had to do that. I was telling everyone, stay calm, stay positive. Remember, we have 2 games advantage. We lose them, it's 2-2. Just imagine everything is erased. We are playing a best of 1. Whoever wins gets through.
Get that blind pick game in there, easy clap.
Yeah, preparation pays off.
Yeah. That's gonna lead me kind of to my final question for the evening, because I don't want to keep you guys from celebrating too much. Going up against Eclipse Solar now in the grand final once again. They were the team that sent you down to that lower bracket miracle run in the first place. How confident are you that you can go back in swinging and actually take that final for yourself?
I mean, at least from my perspective, when we were knocked down, we had a completely different lineup. So saying whether or not we're we got knocked out by them or knocked down by them, it's hard to say because it's as if we're playing with a completely different team. And I know that if we go up 2-0, it's going to be 3-0. But if it goes 1-1, it's going to be 5 games, and that's how I feel about it.
All right.
Here's the thing. Ever since we got knocked down by Eclipse Solar, we just knew they are going to win against Blue Sky Eagles. And we made sure to keep an eye out for them, the way they play. Individually, we have some notes on all of them. We know what to expect from them. And unless they make some changes to their playstyle, I hardly believe they're going to be able to win against us so easily.
Ooh.
All right.
Maybe they're saying the same thing. They've got the notes from this series, man.
Well, here's the thing. We had stuff prepared specifically for Blue Sky Eagle. We have some stuff already prepared for Eclipse Solar. So,
that makes me excited to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, once again, congratulations on a great series. Congratulations on advancing to the grand final. If you want to take a moment and shout out anyone, say hi to anyone, this is your opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I would like to thank all of my teammates for being such good sports and always being able to keep their composure in games. Smiley, Shady, Robin, and Decade. And we'll see you next week.
I second that. Thanks to all my teammates for.
Also, thank you as well for casting these games.
Was our pleasure. It was a absolute banger series. I think I've not had as much fun casting in quite a while. So thank you guys for that one. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us with the interview. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your week, and good luck in the grand finals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's gonna seal it for us tonight. Foxy, any parting words from you?
Oh man, there's so many to choose from. I've got words bouncing in my head the same way that the team fights were bouncing across the rift in this last game. What a series!
What a series indeed. It's been an absolute pleasure casting with you tonight. Of course, big GGs over to the Blue Sky Eagles. They put up a fantastic performance, and I can't wait to see that team again next season because, I mean, they might have just won that one as well. So it was such a close matchup. But as mentioned, that's going to be it for us for tonight. The Valence League lower bracket final is going to come to a close. So definitely drop the follow here on the channel if you want to keep up with the next, all the next esports action that's going to happen here, because there is going to be a whole lot more. For us, that's going to be it. I've been Lethy, with me, Foxy himself, and we are signing off for the night. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, wonderful weekend, and don't forget to love each other, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.